What's going on, guys? Tower number 9 here, and we are recording a league game, and we actually have an Iden mirror here. So I am playing red Iden, and my opponent is playing green Iden. And we're gonna see which one does better. My opponent leads off with the distant patroller. Now this is a pretty weak unit. So I'm gonna try and take it out in the space arena with Inferno 4. Um, wow, these are not. So Palpatine's really good, but I already have one in hand. Death Star Stormtrooper also not really something I immediately want to see. So we'll put Palpatine on top of the Death Star Stormtrooper in case the game goes really long. But overall, happy to send those to the back. Opponent takes initiative. We're just gonna pass. Okay, DT, Cell Block Guard. So we probably resource the normal Death Star Stormtrooper here. We have potentially the Death Trooper or the Cell Block Guard. If my opponent doesn't immediately deploy a unit or clear Inferno 4 gets an easy kill on that Distant Patroller and its ability is wasted. Ends up being a Power of the Dark Side to kill Inferno 4. So I get to look at my top two cards. There's Gideon and there's another Death Trooper. So we're going to take Gideon here on the top of the deck and Death Trooper can go to the bottom. Inferno 4 is defeated. That's okay. This is a sort of control-oriented deck. Presumably that's what my opponent's doing. So 2 damage to base. I'll take the initiative. And we draw out. Okay, so we have Gideon, we have Death Trooper. There isn't really a great play this turn, which is kinda unfortunate. This forced choke might prove relevant. I guess we resource this Death Trooper. So we don't really have a great option here on this 4-resource turn, which is kind of unfortunate. And then we will see where we go. We'll see where we go from here. I do have the initiative. So what I'll probably do, there is the opportunity to potentially get some value with a forced choke. I resourced I did resource that Death Trooper, which is a playable card, but it's only playable as a 3/1 unless the opponent deploys a ground unit. And I think if they deploy a ground unit, I'd probably rather force choke than use the Death Trooper. So we're gonna just go ahead and swing in for 3 with the Cell Block Guard. Opponent playing some that costs 4. Oh, nice. That'll be an easy kill with the forced choke. So he ended up playing, wow, and he shows takedown and power of the dark side. Okay. So we know that he has a lot of removal available, which is potentially going to be a problem for us. But on the plus side, this is going to be an easy kill. So forced choke comes out and kills Lieutenant Childson. Opponent does get to draw a card off that, which is unfortunate. Uh, and let's see here. We're probably going to take 2 damage, and we can use Iden to heal 1. Okay, yeah, so 2 damage there. Do we want to use Iden to heal 1? So next turn, what are we doing? We could potentially play Gideon. Gideon can just get killed by that takedown, which is kind of unfortunate. But if I guess otherwise he can just play it on Iden anyway. I think we're gonna use Iden to heal 1, and we're gonna try and make him show his hand a bit first. Okay, so he takes the initiative, but I'm okay with that. I'm kind of wanting him to take the initiative here, and we'll get a better sense of what he's doing. Nice, Regional Governor. This is a very strong card to have right here. Actually, it makes me wonder if I should Regional Governor here. Uh, so the problem with the Regional Governor is that if I play it, I would have to also play the Viper, which would mean that I would have to resource. I could actually resource Gideon here. Let's think about that. So if I resource Gideon here, I can do Viper this turn, plus the Regional Governor for something that I see with the Viper. Then I can play the Ruthless. Yeah, I think I actually do end up resourcing Gideon here, because given that the opponent gave us that information, that shows that the removal is just waiting for him. I think it doesn't make sense to necessarily play Gideon here, even though he's normally one of the like stronger, more proactive cards that the deck has access to. But given that we saw that removal in hand, I think it's just not worth it. Looks like opponent's playing something that costs 5. Overwhelming Barrage. Okay. That's, I think, what we sometimes call underwhelming barrage because that is really low impact, but I think probably he has a hand without much proactive stuff. So we're going to do Viper Probe. Let's see the hand. And we're going to see Takedown. Yeah, so Takedown, Power of the Dark Side. I'm really confused as to why he didn't just play Gideon. That would have been a much stronger play. Actually, Super Laser Tech also would have been a much stronger play. Yeah, I'm not sure why he went with the Barrage. I think it might be the worst card that he could play from that hand. Yeah, because like Super Laser Tech, deploy Iden. Yeah, okay. So we have Gideon, Super Laser Tech, Takedown. Gideon, Super Laser Tech, Takedown, and Power of the Dark Side. Presumably we're going to get hit for 4 here, which, that's kind of nasty. Okay, so then we're going to Regional Governor, and we'll say Takedown. So that's gonna block his ability to kill my Iden. He uses Iden to heal, and we're gonna take the initiative. Okay, so that was, we've taken a few hits here. It isn't like in an optimal state. Make an opening and Power of the Dark Side, huh? It's so annoying that I have to resource some of this stuff. I would really love to do make an opening to kill the Patroller and then Power of the Dark Side to kill Iden if he deploys her immediately. I think we're gonna resource the make an opening though. What we can do is we can um, Ruthless Raider Patroller off the field and 2 damage to base. And so the distant patroller's ability gets wasted. Ruthless Raider, very cool card. When played and when defeated, deal 2 damage to an enemy base and 2 damage to an enemy unit. So now the distant patroller's off the board, and it's when defeated, trigger to give a blue unit you control a shield is wasted. Or it's actually just any blue unit, but presumably my opponent decides not to give the shield to my regional governor, which would be quite counterproductive. So let's see, what's he going to do here? So one thing that he could do is deploy his Iden, use her to kill the regional governor, and then play takedown on my Iden. That would be a pretty good play. Um, huh. Gideon taking down the regional governor. Okay. And giving himself an experience to make up for the damage. That's kind of cute. Um, I think this is, unfortunately, this is, I think, going to end up being a kind of weak play for my opponent because, actually, let's think about this. Okay, so I will deploy Iden. Opponent heals there, so we'll have Iden take down, do 4 damage to Gideon, so he's still alive. But we're going to be able to clear him with Tarkentown is the thing. And that also allowed us to spend our Iden's shield in a way that makes it so that that takedown is way less value against her now. So opponent deploys his Iden. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so the opponent deploys his Iden. So now what we're going to do is we will Tarkentown to kill Gideon, and then Iden deals 1. Probably we're going to see the opponent use his Iden to kill my Iden, and then I'm just going to take the initiative. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what we see. So his Iden kills my Iden. And then we're just going to take the initiative here rather than using the Viper Probe because we can now just clear the opponent's Iden immediately with Power of the Dark Side. And we are getting in position. I don't think I need the Imperial Interceptor right now. And we are getting in position to have Palpatine in play next turn. Unfortunately, I didn't draw. Well, I could keep that interceptor. I don't think it's worth it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just power the dark side, so Iden's gone. And now he probably still has a takedown and a power of the dark side, so he could potentially kill both of these things. But it would end up being quite inefficient. Well, it wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, maybe that's what he does. So if he plays the takedown on the Viper probe, it's pretty bad, but it allows him to do the power of the dark side on the Raider, which is like it's modest value. It hits him. Ooh, he does the power of the dark side first. Okay, I'll lose the Viper probe. Maybe he drew another one. Or let me look at his discard pile. Am I misremembering? Hmm. Yeah, maybe he drew the third one. I'm not sure. I don't know what he's doing there. Okay, so the Raider will just swing in for 4. Only took 2. That is not right. I added the other 2 there. So I guess we see if he drew another power of the dark side. If not, maybe he resourced that takedown when it was banned by my governor. I'm not sure. He says, ah, I see, misread. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he did draw out the other power of the dark side. Okay. So that's kind of funny. But sometimes that's how it goes. We do end up getting more damage there. I can use Iden to heal. I can use Iden to heal here. I could also just take the initiative. Is it worth it to heal? I think it is worth it to heal. I actually kind of prefer not having the initiative here. But in this situation, I am going to take it. Um, Another Palpatine and a Governor. So this is kind of awkward. So the question now is what his big plays are. So he is playing Iden green. He's up to 8 resources. Governor to block whatever his play actually is would be excellent. The problem is that we don't know what his play actually is. I think I resourced one of these Palpatines. Um, hmm. What is it that an Iden green deck is likely to run? What is an Iden green deck likely to run as the kind of top end units here? Because what I want to be doing is blocking whatever the strong units are that he wants to play. So I think probably Vader commanding the First Legion. Yeah, we'll try that. I think that's probably his best. I think that's probably his best large unit to be playing here. So we'll try and make him. We'll try and make him deal with the regional governor here. Super laser tech hitting the field. Kind of surprised that didn't get resourced. Gideon will take the field for me. Take down on the governor. Okay. So definitely win the trade there. Also makes it seem more likely that he is going to be running that. Makes it seem more likely that he is going to be running that Vader. I'll take the initiative here. Take down, open fire. Okay, so this is some nice removal stuff. I think I don't want a resource at this point, so we're just gonna ready up. He is resourcing. I'm wondering if this guy's playing Devastator. Playing the super laser tech at this phase, playing the super laser tech at this phase seems like a misplay unless he's playing Devastator. As does resourcing up to 9. Unfortunately, I do not have my Vanquishes in here because they are a sideboard card, and I haven't seen another Power of the Dark Side. I think we do want to. I think we'll clear the super laser tech. And with respect to Vanquisher, or with respect to Devastator, if he has it, he has it. I do have some options to remove it. Um, But this is a good play against Darth Vader, and the takedown on that governor does suggest Darth Vader, because otherwise that's a very wasteful play. Nice, yeah, Vader. Okay, so we called it. He's gonna bring in Vader, and then this is gonna be a good setup for me to play Palpatine. So presumably he's going to ambush here. Gideon will deal 6 damage in return, and then Palpatine can kind of wipe the field. I don't think there's any 3-cost unit or combination of things that he could have that would. Oh, I guess he could have like. So he could have like really goofy stuff. No, wait, that's not even Imperial. I was gonna say he could have like 3 2-1B surgical droids, but those aren't even Imperial. Okay, so he brings out a cell block guard. Okay, so yeah, Palpatine will wipe that. He accidentally reveals the bottom of his card to show that he's playing Rook. Okay. So he will have Vader kill Gideon. Vader takes 6. So yeah, my opponent points out he wasn't actually sure that Vader worked like that, because Vader doesn't actually say that you take the remaining cards, shuffle them, and put them on the bottom of the deck. The thing is, the cards that do have that effect, they actually have it say that as reminder text. The cards that say it explicitly, it's actually a core rule as part of search, so that's what you do afterwards. Okay, so then we have a great setup here, because Palpatine will kill both Vader and the cell block guard with his 6 damage when he comes into play, and that will put me in control of the field here. Opponent uses Iden to heal 1. I think I just take the initiative rather than using my Iden here. Okay. Handful of some soft removal type stuff. I think I don't. Opponent's still resourcing. I wonder if he's drawing like resupplies or something. Like resourcing this late is usually wrong in my opinion, because you're giving yourself a card disadvantage in favor of something you don't usually need. But maybe he has something cool that he's going to do with it. So I'll just swing in with Palp for 6. There's a good chance that he'll have something that can remove Palp. There are various effects that could take him out in this situation. So what we're going to do is just swing in first. What I'm hoping he doesn't have is Devastator, but there's a fair chance he has it. Ooh, it's actually going to be Avenger. Okay. So Avenger also kind of a weak card, but a good one in this situation because he does get to kill Palpatine for free. So, this is not a card that I think is worthy in the main deck at all, but it is a card that can have a high impact in the right situation, and this is the right situation for it. So we're gonna have to take it down with a combination of 2 cards. So first we'll play an Open Fire. Opponent probably just gonna use Iden and then take the initiative. And then now that it only has 4 HP remaining, this takedown will finish it off. Opponent takes initiative and we'll use Iden to heal 1 and go to the next turn. Nice. Ooh, Power of the Dark Side. Very good in this situation. The question is, do we want a resource? I think the answer continues to be no. I prefer just keeping these options open. Um, Looks like the opponent has also decided to stop resourcing. Nice. This is actually a great setup for me to counter with a Death Trooper. Vanguard Infantry, 1 cost 1/2. When defeated, you may give an experience token to a unit. Overall, a kind of weak basic card. Maybe he was setting that up to try to allow him to play a big unit and not be in danger of power of the dark side, though. Fortunately for me, I had a Death Trooper, which is a very direct counter. Um, so he's continuing to play these kind of smaller, weaker units. Super Laser Tech, not a card you should be playing at this point in the game, probably. But I'm wondering if he has a big unit coming. We're going to use Make an Opening to kill the Super Laser Tech and heal too. If he does play a big unit now, though, I can just take the initiative and then power the dark side at the start of the turn. So I think insofar as he was playing those bad units to try to cover for a big unit, which it looks like maybe he was, yeah, it's not going to work for him. Okay, so he does get the kill on the Death Trooper. This is actually, so Count Dooku I don't actually need to kill with Power of the Dark Side. I can kill with my own Count Dooku. So I think what I'm going to do here is, I should still take the initiative, though. I don't know what happened there. Did I throw something? I threw my own base somehow. Weird TTS physics. Okay, so opponent does that. Nice, another Count Dooku. So we're gonna, again, we're gonna keep not resourcing. When played, you may defeat a unit with 4 or less remaining HP. That means he does counter himself. So my Count Dooku kills the opponent's Count Dooku. Ooh, another Avenger. Okay. Well, we will just take the initiative here. And if he doesn't have another unit to play, Power of the Dark Side will clear that Avenger very easily. Ooh, it looks like he does, though. Yeah. See, bad card to have in your deck, but in this situation, it might prove pretty helpful for him by allowing him to cover that Avenger. And he's still resourcing. It's kind of a kind of an odd and slightly frustrating situation because I do think there's a chance I'll actually lose to this jank. But that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes your opponent makes choices that are bad overall choices, but they pay off in the particular situation that you're in. And I think that might be what we're seeing here. I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect this guy, but Vanguard Infantry isn't a competitive card for constructed play. I don't think at least. Yeah, and it's okay for Palpatine. It's okay for Palpatine. I should probably have resourced something here. I don't really have very good options. The thing with the Avenger is that when it attacks, it actually gets to clear a unit. So my two options are to play I think we'll try this. I'm going to play a Governor. We'll say Vader. If the thing is, he can just attack with the Avenger and clear it, but this gives me an opening to play another unit. Yep, so that's gone. I take some damage. Then we're going to play Gideon, I guess. This is a really bad situation. So I misplayed this actually fairly severely. I should have resourced one of these Count Dooku's, because then I could play Governor into Count Dooku, kill the Vanguard Infantry, and then be set up for the power of the dark side to win the game. Not to win the game, to kill the Avenger, if he doesn't have other units hitting the field. Oof, that is some bad luck. He had another Vader. He is hitting his endgame cards here. It's interesting. It is interesting. This also means that our power of the dark side is now basically negated. So I don't think this one can really be a win anymore. We're gonna play it out. I do think that I think this opponent is playing weak cards, and I think that and I think that there's a chance that we're going to be in some kind of advantageous situation based on a mistake or something, but it's really looking bad at this point because this power of the dark side just didn't really end up in the right time. First with that Vanguard infantry, and then with this Vader setup. Yeah, and we're not seeing an out. We're just not seeing an out. Okay, so let's see here. We'll resource a Dill. So we can do Viper Viper Probe, see the hand. The problem is he just kills it. And let's give him the chance to misplay. I think that at least by my druthers, ooh, and that there's another Count Dooku. Oh, that's game. GG. I think it was already probably over, but seeing that extra Count Dooku in hand, that just seals the deal. All right, so we're gonna move on to game two. Let's do some sideboarding. So the big one, obviously, is that we're gonna be putting Vanquish in. That's a key card for this sort of matchup. Um, might also, yeah, we'll probably also bring in the Super Laser Blast. Um, it's interesting. So this opponent has a lot of bad cards in the deck, but in this situation, the having that Vanguard infantry saved the game for the opponent, which is kind of funny because it's a very weak card. But in this situation, it was what was needed to. We're gonna get Dell out of here. In this situation, it was what was needed to cover from that power of the from the power of the dark side, and it looked like the opponent was playing to avoid that. So I think a good play by the opponent. Even if it did involve making use of cards that I think are pretty bad. We're gonna remove some make and openings here. Okay, and we know that the opponent has substantial late game investment, just like I do. So we saw Vader, we saw Dooku, and we saw Avenger as major units there. Um, whereas I have Palpatine, Dooku, and Raider, and now we're going to be bringing in Vanquishes as well to help deal with some of that large stuff. This is actually so I have actually removed Avenger from my sideboard because I don't think it's a card that you want to be playing in most matchups at all. But this is actually a great example of a matchup where I wish that I had it. So the opponent having it in main deck, another one of those things that I think that I would personally consider to be a deck building mistake, but it's something that can set you up in good stead when you're playing against another long-term deck like this. The thing is, I think those are a low percentage of overall matchups and often isn't necessarily the route that you want to be taking even within those matchups. Um, oh, did I put my Super Laser Blast in? I believe I did. Cool. So I get to go first this time. Let's see what's going to happen in game two. Um, And it could be also, maybe this opponent is just has a lot of experience playing in an area or playing against opponents who are using control decks, and as a result of that, has decided to go with a main deck setup that's really skewed towards control decks, and that's a valid choice you can make. Um, I think it's not right for the meta as a whole, but it is something that you can do and something that will pay off sometimes, as it did here. So that's kind of the way of card games. We're going to Viper Probe, see the hand, and then we'll have a Regional Governor follow-up. Nice. So it looks like the opponent's starting play. Wow, the opponent, General Tag. Okay, so let's see here. So we have Super Laser, Tag, Controller, Takedown. Okay. Well, yeah. Uh, cool. We're going to see the Distant Patroller. That's going to be easily countered. I will take initiative here. So I think what we're going to do on this turn is I think I actually resource this Death Star Trooper, even though I could play him this turn. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna regional governor super laser attack, so he can't ambush that in with ECL to kill the Viper probe. And because super laser attack ambush kill the Viper probe would be a really strong play this turn. So we're going to prevent that from occurring. The Viper probe can attack the opponent's base for 3, assuming it doesn't get killed by some removal, which I think is comparatively unlikely. Okay, so we see a power of the dark side. So I think we actually do lose the Viper Probe here. The 3 damage to base isn't worth it compared to shutting down the Super Laser attack. So we just take initiative. It's funny that I said I thought it being killed by removal was comparatively unlikely, only for it to be killed by removal, but he did draw his 1/3 cost removal piece, so that's how it goes sometimes. Um, So here we could make an opening. So we could make an opening to kill the we could make an opening to kill the distant patroller. That has the advantage that if he plays takedown on on the governor, he does not have a clean target. But the distant patroller is just such a bad card that it's not a high priority to remove it at this phase. I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and cell block guard. Just developing a just developing a unit that will have some influence on the board here. And cell block guard's kind of funny. I was talking about like bad cards, but ones that are good in certain matchups. So cell block guard's actually in that case. So he plays a takedown but doesn't specify the target. He kills the cell block guard. Shocking. Okay, it's very confusing to me that he would do that and not on the governor. Maybe he resourced the super laser tech after I blocked it. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and swing. He can of course just heal this with Iden, but we're gonna go ahead and swing. Take the initiative. Okay, so Kieru, nice. We probably resource account Dooku. So I think here what we're gonna do is play Gideon. Yeah, let's go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and play Gideon. So 5/5 when an enemy unit is defeated, give an experience token to a friendly unit. Good chance my opponent will have some kind of removal that can deal with him, of course. So for instance, takedown would just be a straight kill. Um, 5 for something. I wonder if he's gonna play his own Gideon. Ooh, Rook ambush. Nice play. So we'll see if he loses the shield or if he takes the damage and then shields. Okay. So he does the shield and then the attack. Typically a weaker play, but might be valid here because it does mean that the that Rook isn't damaged to have Tarkentown used on him. Um, you know, we're gonna take the initiative. Patroller swings in for 2. Okay. Vanquish, that's a tight card. Make an opening here. Death Trooper. So let's see here. I'm starting to think that what I might want to do is just save for Super Laser Blast and wipe the field. I think we're going to try that. So what we're going to do here is we'll lead off with make an opening, kill a distant patroller, heal 2. Rook kills the governor. Okay. We're going to go ahead and heal with Iden. Inferno 4. The question is, do I take too much damage if I stall? That's the big issue here. Super Laser Blast at 8 is just really so expensive. So if I deploy Iden here, good chance she could just get killed by a power of the dark side. Opponent's already played one, but there's a decent chance he's drawn another one. The advantage of deploying Iden would be that if the opponent doesn't have that, we can do get some major results, maybe. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna just pass. We're gonna play let some things play out here. I'm hoping that my opponent is gonna not have that much productive to do, and is maybe just gonna take the initiative early. Um, like he'll deploy Iden. Maybe he'll hit my base with Iden. Okay, Iden hits the base for 4. The opponent takes initiative. Nice. Okay, got him to not use all his resources. That's what we wanted. Oh man. See, now though, I kind of want to fight for it with this stuff that I have. So I could do a forced choke to kill Rook. I could use the interceptor. Okay, so I think if I interceptor to kill, no, we don't. We're gonna resource this. Hmm. So one thing that we can do is Count Dooku to kill his Iden. There's a good chance he can remove Count Dooku. Yeah, we're gonna try that. So we're going to. Okay, so Inferno 4 hits the base for 2. Count Dooku kills Iden. There's a good chance he has another power of the dark side based on what he was doing on the previous turn. So if that's the case, he can just kill Count Dooku, which would be sad, but that would also leave me with the opportunity to get Iden on the board myself and start getting some potential results there, unless he's seen all 3 powers of the dark side again, which is very possible. I mean, it would be a very unlucky situation for me, but that is the way that it goes sometimes. Sure. And we do have that super laser blast waiting in the wings. Yep. Oh no, not power of the dark side. Okay. Death Trooper, 2 damage there, and knocks Count Dooku's shield off. So now he can potentially kill Dooku with Rook. Okay, I think we deploy Iden here. If he kills Dooku with Rook, Rook dies also. So that's like something I consider quite acceptable. Okay, so tradesies. And I heal 1. And then Iden Iden kill the Death Trooper and heal another one. In this sort of matchup, you want to have Iden fighting. You don't care about preserving her shield, in my opinion, because there's so much stuff that can kill her. Yeah, and he did have the 3rd power of the dark side again. Oh well, sometimes the opponent is drying hotter than you on those. I think yeah, I've seen 0. He has seen 3. So that is how it goes sometimes. That is how it goes sometimes. I think I don't resource here. I think what we're gonna do is Interceptor kill Inferno 4, play out a Death Star Stormtrooper. I'm trying to like bait him into having a big setup that I can Super Laser Blast, but we'll see if this works. So we'll start off with Interceptor killing Inferno 4. He does get to look at those top 2. Was that actually 3? Maybe that was only 2. Nope. Yeah, only 2, only 2. It wasn't all 3. I thought he had played. Well, whatever. Maybe if and when I upload this, we can see whether or not there was some mistake made. But okay, Count Dooku, nice. This is setting me up for a good interaction. So he's going to use Count Dooku to kill my interceptor. Um, I am happy to just take the initiative here. Opponent passes, sure, why not? Okay, I think I do want to resource something so I can play the Death Star Trooper, maybe. Actually, I don't really want this guy on the field. Well, he can trade with like a cell block guard if the opponent plays Vader or something, I guess. I don't know. I like having the Viper Probe Droid and the Governor. I like having the availability of Super Laser Blast. Oh, I think we do want the Stormtrooper on the field in case he plays in case he plays Avenger. The Stormtrooper covers for Dooku. So what we're gonna do is just they're dead. If he has an Avenger, he can play it now and kill Count Dooku. I can take initiative and vanquish his Avenger. He has a Count Dooku of his own. Okay. Take initiative. Wow, Inferno 4. Um, Not sure I would have kept that, but maybe his other thing was even lighter. We know he has a lot of like odd light cards, like the system patrol or the distant patroller or the Vanguard infantry. So maybe he saw one of those and that was the resource option. Okay, Power of the Dark Side, not great right now thanks to the Inferno 4. See, that's the other thing. It is decent to have like some of that small stuff. I think what I try to do is small stuff this turn into Super Laser Blast next turn. So I think we don't resource and we're gonna just we're gonna do some small stuff. So we will Inferno 4, let's look at the top two. Interceptor and Gideon. Gideon's kind of a substantial unit. We'll keep Gideon and we'll put the Interceptor on the bottom of the deck. Um, hmm. I'm trying to bait him into playing out more stuff to get hit by the Super Laser Blast here. Power of the Dark Side. Okay, so I guess that's the third one. Um, so I guess he's not really going that big. Maybe we don't want a Super Laser Blast. Maybe do we just vanquish Count Dooku here? Yeah, let's try that. So we'll just vanquish Count Dooku here. It's me for two. I'll use Iden to heal one. I think there's a good chance he'll play another card. I'm hoping he plays like Vader and brings out some other card, and then we can Super Laser Blast, wipe the board, and have him in a tough spot, especially if he resources another thing. But I don't know if that'll be the case. Looks like he just takes the initiative. That's unfortunate. Oh well. On the plus side, it means that he's not immediately playing good stuff. So 8 resources. So we could do Gideon. We could do Power of the Dark Side. We can bring out Regional Governor. I think we just stay here. We're lower on life, but we have a big card advantage, so we'll see. We'll see what comes of that. Looks like he's probably playing something big. Yeah, there's the Avengers. That's gonna kill Inferno 4. We get to look at our top 2 cards. Open Fire and Open Fire. I think I'll keep them. They're honestly pretty good, especially because we haven't used Tarkentown yet. Um, okay. So now we Super Laser Blast. We'll just wipe those. Opponent takes initiative. Iden heal 1, and we pass. Okay, so then now we have the open fire. So let's see here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I want to resource the governor here. Go up to 9 resources. And we'll see what we do. And what I'm doing at this point is sort of based on what my opponent's doing. I actually like my opponent having the initiative here. I think that's good for me. And he I think sees the same dynamic because he's going to open with a pass. I'm going to play Gideon Hask. One of the nice proactive plays the deck can make. So his best counter would probably be a Darth Vader here. So Vader could ambush and kill Gideon, but the thing is, he would then line himself up to be removed easily by Tarkentown. Still, though, he would get another unit in play, which would allow him to get some results. Yep, and he has it. We've seen some pretty fortunate draws here, I think, from this opponent with the constantly hitting those late game cards. But we have, we have options. He will get to deploy something from Vader. Let's see what it is. Spell block guard. Okay. Fairly basic. He could, I guess, opt to not resolve ambush. No, he's going to do it, yeah. And I actually think not resolving it might have been, I don't know. It's pretty risky since this deck has so much removal and Gideon can get buffed. So we'll Tarkentown Vader off the board. Opponent passes. We'll use Iden to heal one. Opponent passes. We will. I think we open fire on the cell block guard. Good. Opponent plays a Death Trooper with no target. Ouch. Not what you want to be doing. I will go ahead and doesn't exhaust for it. Okay, there we go. I'll take the initiative. Now, the dream here would be to draw a Death Trooper to counter his Death Trooper. Oh, yeah. We got lucky. And we now have our own Powers of the Dark Side coming up. So we will Death Trooper, counter Death Trooper. If he has one big unit, we have Power of the Dark Side. If he has multiple small units, we have the open fire to clear the small units. He has a Death Trooper to counter our Death Trooper. You know what? That's okay. That's how it goes sometimes. We're gonna go ahead and use Iden, heal one from the base. Normal tie. Another really not good card. I'm wondering if that's I wonder if that's what like the way that his deck deals with aggro is by just trying to play a bunch of small cards. The problem is they're just not very good. It's interesting at least. We're gonna pass. See if he just takes initiative. Okay. I was hoping to get him to play more, but he didn't go for it. So this turn's gonna be Palpatine. I guess we resource land and do Pal plus Inferno 4. Nice. I don't know why he did that instead of attacking, but I'll take it. Palpatine kills everybody. 6 damage to spread around. And so that'll be 3 to Cell Block Guard, 1 to Death Trooper, 1 to the TIE LN, wipe all 3. Palpatine is a great answer to this that's sort of like chaff unit spam stuff. Now, of course, he might have something to remove Palp. Oh, he just takes initiative. Okay. We're going to play Inferno 4. Ruthless Raider and Cellblock Guard. The Cellblock Guard will go to the bottom. Ruthless Raider will stay on top. And then we're going to use Iden to heal one from the base, and then we'll pass. We now have all 3 powers of the dark side in hand. So I feel like this is a pretty good spot to be in. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what he does. I wonder if he had taken the initiative. He had 8 resources. I wonder if he had Avenger and was hoping to Avenger Palp at the start of the turn. He's still resourcing. Is he playing Devastator? He might be. Didn't see it earlier. And he already has so much late game that it seems dubious, but okay, Vader ambushing Palpatine, maybe? How many Vaders has he seen? Is that the third one or is that the second one? I think it's the second one. Yeah, that's the second one. Two Dooku's, two Vaders, and an Avenger. If he has General Veers, the dream would be getting General Veers and then having that allow Vader to actually kill Palpatine in one hit. That would be really positive for him. We haven't seen it, so I don't think he's running it. He brings out a super laser tech. You know, not good, but it might have been the only option he had in terms of cheap villainy units. Okay, and he does take the swing. More damage to him than there is to me. Okay, so what we're going to do is yeah, I think Palp swings into Vader here. That deals 5 to the opponent's base from Overwhelm. First damage I've done to his... No, no, that's not true. I did like 1 with his Governor, and then he healed it with Iden earlier. And then we're going to be able to bring out the Ruthless Raider to clear his Super Laser tech. Um, he just get another resource. Rook. Okay, so now we can power the dark side, clear Rook. Opponent takes initiative, we heal 1 with Iden, and then we have him turn off 4, strafe the base for 2. Okay, so then we now have an advantaged position plus a bunch of removal. So what we're going to currently do is just kind of try and use our card advantage to maintain the advantaged position as much as we can. See how it goes. Gideon hits the field. Okay. I think we use a takedown to kill Gideon. Preserve the power of the dark sides for any potential really heavy units that he might play. The opponent just takes the initiative. Okay, so we'll use Iden to heal 1. We will spend 1 for a Death Star Stormtrooper, and then we will swing on base for 2 and swing on base for 4. And I'm not going to play any more units at this point, because unless they're like countering things that the opponent has played, because I think there's a chance we're going to see a Super Laser Blast. I guess I might also play this Relentless Raider if the damage from it wins the game, which I guess it does if all this stuff gets to swing on base. But right now we're going to be, we're going to be playing a little conservative because of Super Laser Blast and not playing out other stuff. We have enough threat on the board right now to hopefully do well. Okay, Lieutenant Childson. Nothing to show. So Childson is a 2/2 Sentinel. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and Ruthless Raider into the base for 4. So that does mean he probably doesn't have a Super Laser Blast. I think he must just be drawing some of the like worse, like low cost stuff that he's playing because this is really not so good for him. Opponent takes the initiative. Okay, so that game. And that's game. Okay. Okay. So we got the win in game 2. Um, let's see what we can do in game 3. I don't think I want to change the sideboard. Well, let's actually take a look and see. Do we want to change the sideboarding? He's not really using attachments, so we don't want the Fang Fighters. The system patrol crafts aren't necessary against this. The make it Dell is not all that good. Make an opening is not all that good. Do we want Dell? I guess there is a question of do we want Dell instead of cell block guard? I think we probably do because he is running removal events and Dell disrupts those. So we're gonna try that. And if I die to not having a sentinel, I'm gonna be sad. But this isn't really the matchup where you're playing cell block guard for. It's interesting. These decks are very different. I personally do not like some of the cards in my opponent's deck. I think my opponent probably might well not like some of the cards in my deck. And we're gonna see, we're gonna see who can prevail now that we're going on to round three. But it's an interesting thing where, like, even though this is a mirror match, the two decks are playing very different cards, both as the result of being different aspects and as the result of kind of having a different style of play or something. I think I'm gonna mulligan this, so I could lead with the regional governor, but I don't have any clear follow-up plays for the next turn. So I think we mulligan that. Opponent is sideboard anymore. Well, we mulliganed into something odd. We have a ton of removal. We probably resource this. Do we really resource a Palpatine? I think we kind of have to. I think we do Palpatine and open fire here. Okay. Opponent has the initiative. Let's see what he does with it. Inferno 4. Okay. Oh, this was actually a big misplay on my part. So I played a Death Star Stormtrooper here into Inferno 4. The reason that's a misplay is because now if he sees a Death Trooper on the top of his deck, it would normally not be a card that you want here, but because he sees what I have, it would be a card he wants. However, he ends up putting both cards in the bottom anyway. You should really not like rush your opponent, let them take their time um to do decisions like that rather than giving them bonus information for free, as I sort of just did. But he might have a Death Trooper anyway. A Death Trooper would be a good counter to this Stormtrooper. Let's see if he has it. No, just a cell block guard. Okay, so we'll trade. What I want is an interceptor, and I got it. Nice draw. Interceptor, easy kill on the Inferno 4. It's arguable that I should not be playing this interceptor, but he was playing both Inferno 4 and the distant patroller, so I think it's reasonable. Super laser tech with no one in the ground arena. Okay. Interceptor kill Inferno 4. Oh, it takes both those cards. Oh, he was just putting them into a pile like that. Okay. We will be able to use Iden to heal the 1 damage dealt by Inferno 4. Okay. Opponent takes initiative, we'll use Iden, and then we will pass. So, fully healed now. Del Nico, an interesting option. Thing about Del, if I play Del, he gets to super laser tech. Don't really want him to super laser tech. I'm gonna resource this force choke. If it's maybe we want to keep that. The force choke is really good specifically if he plays Gideon. We'll resource that. We'll resource the open fire. The force choke is too good a counter to Gideon. Okay, so he has the initiative. We're gonna see what he does. Wow, he swings the super laser tech into the base. Okay, well, I'll swing my interceptor into the base. The reason I was surprised by that is that by doing this, he actually gives me an opportunity to play ground units now. His super laser technician was sort of soft suppressing ground units that I had because if I play them, he can attack into them, get an extra resource, and bring Iden out a turn early. But because he's going like this, he's man, yeah, and he plays Gideon, which is the dream scenario for my forced choke. Because he attacked with that super laser tech, this turn is going to be a lot better for me than it would be otherwise. So forced choke, kill Gideon. He gets to draw a card. Everyone forgets this. So I don't know why it is, but everyone seems to forget that the unit's controller draws a card. And that's not really like a missed trigger type situation. I think it's a downside of my own card, so I think you really have to remind your opponent in that situation. I'll use Iden, and then I will play Dell. And then I will pass. Nice, nice, nice. Another Power of the Dark Side, another Forced Choke. We probably resource this Forced Choke. Yeah, I think we do it like that. So my opponent could get up to 7 resources, which would allow him to play Count Dooku, who would directly kill Iden. That would be unfortunate, but I don't think there's huge counterplay to that at this point. So it's just kind of going to be something that he might have the ability to do. We of course can play counter Power of the Dark Side and kill Count Dooku if that is the play that the opponent goes for. So I don't feel like bereft of any response or whatever. Depending on what the opponent does with the first action, I might actually use Dell to kill the super laser tech because that would then open an Iden deployment to be removed by Power of the Dark Side. But we'll see what he does. He might also use his super laser tech on me, or he might play other cards. It's hard to say. I do think we have kind of different ideas about the game or like philosophies about it just as expressed through our deck construction, which is often an interesting opportunity to see like what are some other things that could work. Um, okay, so he plays Inferno 4. Looking at those top two. One thing that I can do is just trade these with my Interceptor for Inferno 4. Another thing that I can do is have Dell kill the Super Laser Tech. I think we have Dell kill Super Laser Tech. Because Dell is very vulnerable to various ambushes and stuff here. I also heal 1 with the Restore on Dell. Clearing the Super Laser Tech also is getting me closer to a potential Power of the Dark Side, depending on what he does here, because my Imperial Interceptor can, of course, trade with his Inferno 4, and then he would have no units, and anything that he plays could be removed. Potentially. Potentially. Of course, he might have a takedown or something he's saving for Iden. 4 resources for... Oh, 4 resources for Power of the Dark Side. Okay. So we're gonna have his Power of the Dark Side just kill Dell then. So then we trade these there. So Dell made that Power of the Dark Side cost more and actually absorbed it. Inferno 4 taken off the field by the Imperial Interceptor. We now have a barren field. Yes. Opponent asks what the key command is for searching a single card. I say Alt Shift with card moused over. So he puts both of the cards from Inferno 4 on the bottom of the deck, and now it is his move. Does he have a 1 cost? Will he deploy Iden? There are definitely some questions being raised here today. He uses Iden to heal 1. Okay. I am going to deploy my Iden. I'm not afraid of him hitting me with a Power of the Dark Side since he has no resources up. He's deploying his Iden. Great. So what we're going to do here is we could actually use Power of the Dark Side on her, but I think I want to save it. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use Ruthless Raider to drop her shield and do 2 damage to base. And then my Iden is now poised to remove his Iden while losing her shield, which I consider favorable because it means I'm getting value out of the shield, which otherwise is easily pierced by cards like Takedown, Count Dooku. A normal tide hits the field. I don't know why he didn't attack with Iden. I will have my Iden take out his Iden. I think he likely should have just swung for 4 on the base there, but I don't know. That's probably it for the turn, and I feel pretty good going into this next turn. We have strong cards in reserve here. Death Trooper, probably not one of them. Death Trooper will get resourced. So if he plays another Power of the Dark Side, we probably just let it kill Iden here rather than the Ruthless Raider. Although we could kill the Ruthless Raider and have it deal... We could kill the Ruthless Raider and have it kill the tie and deal 2 damage to his base. No, that's actually better. So that'll be what I do if he plays Power of the Dark Side here. We'll lose the Raider. But I don't know, though. Iden is a lot more vulnerable to ambushes. So, like, he could have Rook to kill Iden. He could have Gideon to kill Iden. There are a bunch of things he could potentially have that would kill Iden. What is he doing? Okay, he attacks his tie into my Raider. I'll take it. Swing with Iden on base so that if she gets ambushed off the board. Oh, he's going to play Count Dooku and kill the Raider. That's what we're going to see here. That's what I think's coming. Oh, no, takedown to kill the Raider. Okay, well. 2 to base, and then we're going to play Gideon. One of the things I like about the Raider is even if the opponent answers it with removal, it's still getting value, both from the when played, from anything it did while it was in play, and then also from the when defeated. Raider is a nice card against removal. So I'm feeling pretty good about where we are in the game right now, but it's not over yet. I'll just take the initiative here. Because right now I have good cards in hand. Takedown, who's the target? Iden's the target? Okay, so he takes down Iden. I would have taken down Gideon here, who's a better unit than Iden at this phase, but he does have a second takedown for Iden. Okay. Let's see. We can play Dell. It's not very exciting to play Dell. We could also play Palpatine. Dell has the advantage of being an actually proactive card. Interceptor, I think we resource the Interceptor. Was that right? No. I think we resource Dell. Right now, I can just hit his base with Gideon. Maybe he has Vader to kill Gideon, but then Vader can be killed by Palpatine, or just by Tarkentown for that matter. I'll just go ahead and 5 to base. He could ambush Rook to kill Gideon and keep Rook's shield up. Wow, he plays Dooku. Dooku does not kill Gideon. Gideon is 5 HP. I guess he might just have a weak draw. Yeah, he might just have a weak draw. Well, that's, I'll take it, Power of the Dark Side, let's get Dooku off the field. +1/+1 for Gideon. He tried to heal with Iden, which I don't think is legal. Okay. So he ends up just taking the initiative. All right, I'm feeling pretty ahead. How many powers of the dark side has he played? He has played 1. There is a good chance he has another one. We are going to bring out an interceptor with nothing to intercept, which is normally a bad play, but it gives Gideon cover from power of the dark side, and it just gives me some more aggro. Then I'm going to pass, draw up. Oh, nice. Regional Governor. So a Vader ambush is now actually not in range to kill Gideon. A Rook ambush would be. He could play Avenger, in which case, so that's another reason to play the Interceptor. I wasn't even thinking of that. I was just thinking Power of the Dark Side, but But playing out the Interceptor helps cover there as well. We have Palpatine, Power of the Dark Side, another Governor of Vanquish. I'm feeling pretty good about this, but it's not over yet. Okay, so he brings out Vader, who is going to be able to ambush but not kill Gideon. And then I'm going to be able to counter with Palpatine, who can kill Vader and whatever unit Vader brings out, buff Gideon further, and then I might be able to close the game this turn. I don't know what happened there. I don't think he did that correctly. TTS, kind of goofy. I've never actually seen that before. I don't know what command that was. It's only 8 cards. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Might have just been a lag spike or something, though. TTS does goofy things sometimes. Death Trooper. Okay, hey, pretty good. That way he is going to be able to get the kill on Gideon. Okay, nice. I was thinking Gideon was pretty safe, but that is not to be. And then presumably he's going to take the swing with Vader and finish him off. Okay, so we probably won't be closing the game this turn then. That's a cool play. Yeah, yeah. That is a cool play. Okay, so then he ambushes. Gideon is defeated. Vader is almost defeated. We will go ahead and go to the base. I want him to play some other unit so I can kill that with Palpatine also. Okay. The Vanguard Infantry. Still a card that should not really be in the deck, I think, but you know. Palpatine kills everybody. Uses Iden to heal one. I take the initiative. Not resourcing at this point in the game. I think we have it, but it's not over yet. We'll have to see. Ooh, something big coming. Reinforcement Walker. Look at the top card. Either it's definitely going to be the discard option here. Either draw that card or discard and you heal 3 from the base. Discard's a barrage, which you don't want to discard, but it's it's like it's life or death. You have to play it this way. If you don't play this way, you just lose, right? So then we're going to 9 HP, huh? Hit the base for 3. He takes initiative and willpower the dark side. And then what could he have that would be really good here? He can regional governor and say something. So let's think about his big plays. So Vader reinforce. Yeah, well, regional governor and say Vader, I guess. I don't think it's really necessary, but we'll kind of try it anyway. Also gives me another chaff unit to remove if need be. I could play the Death Trooper, but I'm not going to. There is a risk that he has a Super Laser Blast. So it's nice to have some follow-up, although we just drew into some strong units. We have some copies of Vanquish waiting in the wings in case he somehow plays some big powerful unit and stabilizes. This is the matchup where Vanquish and sideboard is really feeling good. Yeah, he says GG. We did it. We did it. Okay. So I think that was actually a really interesting set. This was a mirror match, but the way that matches went was, the two decks did not play the same, despite this being a mirror. This was a very different gameplay from the two sides, and ended up being pretty cool. Now, I think the MVP on both sides was probably this card right here, Power of the Dark Side. An opponent chooses the unit they control, defeat that unit. Really, really strong card, able to destroy powerful, expensive stuff. Opponent asks what I sideboard in between matches. I said 3x Vanquish, 1x Super Laser Blast. He brought in the Reinforcement Walker. Cool. Yeah. And one interesting thing about the Power of the Dark Side is this card is so good. My opponent counterplayed it actually quite well in that first game. When he played the actual key move was when I was preparing to Power of the Dark Side his Avenger, and he brought out the Vanguard Infantry. So Vanguard Infantry is not a good card in my opinion. I just don't really think I don't think it's a very worthwhile card for this. For Palpatine, there's an argument and so on, but like for Iden, I just don't think it's doing all that much. But in this game, in game one, his use of Vanguard infantry saved him the game. He was able to bring out that Vanguard infantry, it prevented me from clearing his Avenger with Power of the Dark Side, and then the Avenger kind of locked me down. So, in this case, is Vanguard infantry a good card? I would argue that it's not, but he was able to use it to good effect in that game. There are situations where even a relatively weaker card can sometimes be really good. Like in that case, just costing one, being something that you can play cheaply to counter Power of the Dark Side works great. I Power of the Dark Side, what a star card. An opponent chooses a unit they control, defeat that unit for only 3. That's a really good card compared to a lot of the removal in this game. All right, those were some interesting Iden versus Iden matches. Control versus control. But you know what? We were able to win it in the end there, and yeah. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I have a copy of my Iden Versio deck list, my Iden Versio Aggression deck list in the video description below. And yeah, stay tuned for more Star Wars Unlimited content. Also, sorry for my voice being weird and for the coughing. I am unfortunately sick right now. All right, that's going to do it, guys. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back later with some more Star Wars Unlimited content. I will catch you guys later.